Greetings, everybody. This is Capo Daniel. I want to talk today to you about race because the whole world have stood together to say in one voice, Black Lives Matters. So there is no better time to talk about race than this period. And I want to tell you the deception about racism. And if you look at the world very well, they seem to have divided human beings into black and white. And what is the deception and the hidden agenda behind this division? It's all about preserving the European ethnicity. And I'll explain to you why. And as an activist, I speak things the way I believe they ought to be. I don't just accept things the way they are or the way they appear to be. Because if you look at mixed children born of black and white, I give you an example, Obama. He will be considered a black because there is a rule called the one blood drop, which means that any child born between a white and a minority is usually considered, it will be considered as a minority race. So even if you're a white person, so long as you have a black heritage, a black parents, even fifth generation, you will be considered as a black, even though they will say you are mixed race, but they will consider you as a black. That is why Obama is considered a black by race. The law in America that divides people into race is called the OBM. That is the Office for Management and Budget. It is all about budget. It's all about economics, allocation of wealth, who become rich and who becomes poor. And you have to know this very well because that law itself, it categorizes people into 6 different racial groups. The thing you have to know is because all this facade is to protect the European ethnicity. So you have 6 different racial groups that is categorized. You have the Asians, you have the American Indians, you have the Hispanic or Latino, and you have the native Hawaiians. And then you have blacks, which they categorize as people from the Negro, Haitians, and Africans. And then you have white, which they classified as Europeans and people from Northern Africa. But the fact of the matter is, if you are a person with your skin color which is black from North Africa, you are still considered as a black person. Africans are generally considered as black. They are not considered as white. Asians are not considered as white. So they will still tell you in practicality, they will tell you about brunette, black eye, white eye, and those type of stuff. So there's a lot of facade and a lot of falsehood in this categoric division of people, which I want you to understand. It's all about protecting the European ethnicity because the terminology black and white is a European terminology that have been imposed on the international system by white majority who have the economic power to do so, and they have written our history and the whole world have fallen for it. So I want you to consider what I'm about to say. Race is supposed to be division of human being according to species. That means that people with a specific skin color or facial bones are categorized according to one way or another. But that is not true because you have people with the same facial bones, different colors across the continent. You have people in China that look like Chinese, but they are black. You have people in Japan. In Japan, there are people in Africa that look white. So you cannot really divide human being as a black, white, and call them is a race, or you cannot subdivide human being as various species because all human beings are one species, the human race. We are all one race, the human race. Biologically and scientifically, you define a race as a species that can interchange gene and crossbreed. For example, a monkey can breed with a monkey. Human beings can breed across the gene. We can exchange our blood, our transplant, our organs. Black and white, you can interchange whatever you want. You give my eye to a white person, he will see. You give my lungs, my heart, we can transplant. So we are the same species, we are the same race. It's a delusion, it's a deception to use the terminology black and white. As a matter of fact, I am not black. I am brown. So if you really want to call people according to their bone structure and their color and the color of their skin, you would not call people white, you call them cream pink. And there are some people who may be black or white, but they'll be very little. You cannot really categorize people as black and white. That is the bottom line. And when you are trapped in that dialogue of black and white, you will remain in racism. There will always be race. And the people who have gamed the system will continue to prosper. So I believe that the whole world have to break down this system of black and white. There is nothing like black and white. We shouldn't be calling human beings as black and white. We should be looking to build a war of a global village where every human being is judged by the content of your character and your nationality, not the color of your skin. Because I am a Hong Kong citizen, but I am black. So if you want to judge people in Hong Kong or in America fairly, you have to judge them and allocate resources based on their character, based on how hard they work and the advantages that they can have. You have to provide opportunity to all human beings in every country equally. So provide opportunity to all Americans. We should dream of a war where all people are treated equally under the law, equally with opportunities, being the allocation of resources and the budget of every country. We should build a war without strangers. You cannot be an American and you think you are of a different race than your other Americans. You are all Americans. We are all Chinese. We are all Japanese. The concept of nationalism should prevail. The idea of racism comes from this racial divide. It is time for the war to stop the racial divides. We human beings are one and indivisible. We are all people of the same race. Otherwise, you have people who will be lost. The mixed race, who are you? Are you black or white? If you consider people black or white, then you are playing into the narrative of the Puritans of the white race. Because black or white will mean that anytime a minority, a so-called minority or a black person have a baby, that baby is lost. A black woman who have a baby with a white father, the child will be considered a black baby. But we know that the genotype, the nucleus of a baby comes from the paternic gene. So as a matter of fact, the baby should follow the race of the father. But that is not the case with the racial divide and the racial categories. So we have to accept the science that we all human beings, we can interchange our gene, we can crossbreed, so we are all the same species. We are all the human species. Let's build a war based on humanity, not on racial divides. Thank you. Have a good day.